guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. Crichton, finds a way. Jurassic Park. This is the 1990 novel written by Michael Crichton. Starting in 1983, the story behind Jurassic Park evolved from a graduate student trying to come up with an idea based around a story with a kid's perspective on a dinosaur outbreak on a theme park. It eventually became the story we know it as today. And it wasn't that, thank God. The plot. Science has done it. Under the supervision of an eccentric billionaire, dinosaurs have been cloned back into existence, thanks to the miracle of bioengineering. To get the approval from some of his financiers and lawyers, he has to have a few people come to the park, professionals, experts in their fields, who mostly specialize in prehistoric life, dinosaurs, plants, and math? Chaotician. However, internal espionage leads to a lot of problems and lives lost. Can the eccentric billionaire recover from this major setback, or will dinosaurs reclaim the land? This is a fantastic novel with only a handful of issues. Some more minor than others. Crichton was a very intelligent man who had a plethora of ideas floating around in his head, mostly based on science and math, and which are both evident in this novel. It's a big book.
I read your book.
He's able to convey the science and math jargon well enough to not bore or take the reader out of it. It's easy enough to understand the basics, but not everything. It's because of his character Ian Malcolm that we have simplified versions of everything he's talking about. He'll start spouting mumbo-jumbo about chaos theory, math, and such, and he'll lose the characters and the reader. However, he will ask if they understand or follow, neither of which they do, so he'll break it down even further. Understand and follow is the same damn thing pretty much. Wow, Brian, you're really reaching for the stars with this review. The author also manages to put in enough atmosphere to keep the reader engaged with the environment. Not to the level of the movie, but it's well done. He didn't sacrifice atmosphere for science. He kept both.
No, that's crazy. You're out of your mind. He's absolutely out of his mind.
From the misty dew that hovers over the terrain to the humidity itself. It's very hot on the island, and people are drenched in sweat constantly. Yes, I am aware Jurassic Park was filmed on an island in Hawaii. Kauai. But when there were sets like in the trees and such, it was kinda noticeable. Here, it's just a natural environment somewhere off the coast of Costa Rica. Also, the scenes with the dinosaurs in here feel more or less realistic. They act a lot like birds, bobbing their head back and forth when they walk or tilting their head side to side when they're studying something. For the characters, we have Dr. Alan Grant, who is a paleontologist who was in the middle of a dig when he was asked to join John Hammond on his island to see if he would dig that instead.
It's right up your alley.
He is a hero stereotype, there to save people's lives and to make the situation as painless as possible. He brings along his partner botanist, Ellie Sattler, who is not romantically involved with him. She's actually married to some lawyer, I believe. Anyway, she is there to study the plant life on the island. Prehistoric plants, which has always been kind of a plot hole for me. If they knew they had poisonous plants on the island, why the hell would they bring a botanist in with them? I mean, I don't know if Dr. Grant was like, I can't go without her, but in the book, they're not even together. So he could have gone without her. And none of the guests would have been the wiser. Ian Malcolm is an integral character. He can tell the park is doomed to fail before he even gets to the damn place. And of course, no one believes him until it's too late.
Now, eventually, you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? Hello?
I really hate that man.
On a side note, Ian Malcolm, as opposed to Dr. Alan Grant, his way of finding out that they're breeding is completely idiotic on the engineer's part. Minor spoiler, but Ian Malcolm discovers that they have the counter for the dinosaurs set to a certain amount. And if one dies, that number will go down. However, they were so confident that they would not breed that they never raised the number after the original amount. So if one died, they went down one. But the system tells them that they're still at that number, which is weird because you would think it would go up one or up two. It's gonna bother me. Because they have it set to, like, let's say 26. So if one dies, it would go down to 25. But if they don't put it in that another one was born, then it would stay at 25. But if they got more dinosaurs, they would have tracking devices inside their skin or something. This whole thing's kind of jumbled. Someone please explain this to me in the comments if you know, or if their befuddled response is warranted, or if the way they did it was just really freaking stupid. And regardless, talk about being cocky on every employee's part in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Anyway, Ian Malcolm is filled with knowledge and common sense. A brilliant chaotician mathematician. He basically equates Jurassic Park to Murphy's Law to an extent. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Then we have John Hammond, who in the book is sort of 76 years old. He reeks of poor ethics and old man smell.
They smell?
They do not.
Some of them smell.
His business ideas are grand and are only brought to fruition because at the end of the day he wants to make money. A far cry from the John Hammond in the movie, that's for damn sure. Jurassic Park, to him, is and has always been a business. Welcome to Jurassic Pockets. John Arnold not only shares the same first name as his boss, but the ideologies as well. He is overly confident that the park is under control, and that nothing can go wrong. Bill Nedry is the sole encapsulation of unsatisfactory and greed in this book. He only wants to make money and is willing to go to great lengths to see that he gets paid. He is working as essentially the thief and the spy amongst the employees. He's a computer whiz and a fat ass, and it's no coincidence that his name, if you squint at it, literally says nerd. Love it.
Oh, God, it's cool to compartmentalize inside.
He commits sabotage and steals the embryos that he can to give to his new employer. Piracy. Regardless, Dodgson. We have Lewis Dodgson in this book, and the sequel, actually. Nedry even wants to sneak back to restore the power after everything's done and over with. So it looks like he never did anything wrong, or nothing actually bad happened. So he could just continue to do his job and get paid for it, even though he's stealing behind their backs. What a guy. He's got to make a living for as long as he is in this book, after all. Donald Gennaro is Hammond's representative and an investor in the park. He and his company had the faintest idea of what John Hammond was doing, but nothing concrete. Mainly because he didn't believe it was possible. He offers to go out with Grant to help find the kids after the T-Rex attack. He's also badgered and belittled for going out to compare dinosaur ages. It's not like he wasn't helping the whole damn time. Grant just gets pissed at him and acts like he needs to hold his own weight as if he wasn't already. Gennaro really didn't need to go. He actually missed his kid's birthday party for this. Dr. Henry Wu is a brilliant geneticist who was brought on board to be the lead scientist at Jurassic Park because he was told that this was an opportunity that he could not pass up. After all the shit goes down, Hammond's on his ass. And finally, we have Tim and Lex. Tim is an older brother to Lex. Tim is the computer whiz. Lex is the loudmouth kid who likes baseball. That's her defining trait. Oh, their parents are getting a divorce. Lex is their father's favorite, and Tim has a fond memory of his father when he was surprised at all the stuff he knew about dinosaurs.
My teacher told me about this other book by a guy named Backer, and he...
Speaking of the dinosaurs, they're here in abundance. While, yes, the Tyrannosaurus and the Velociraptor species dish out the most threat in this book, and to our characters, as well as having scenes with them committing deadly destruction and methodical mutilation. The ones that actually really stuck out to me more so in the book than in the movie were the Procompsognathus. Try saying that name 5 times fast. I can't even say it once. This is mainly due to a nightmarish scene that they take part in. It involves an infant in a crib, light penetrating the night sky as the Comfies, for short, are eating away at an infant in a crib. It's particularly unsettling. The raptors also pose a threat to the mainland, because they hop aboard a boat that is due to take off in a few hours. Uh-oh. The characters have to try and stop the boat from heading out before they do so, but the phones are down. Son of a... Thankfully and disappointingly, the subplot is wrapped up rather easily. The characters feel rejoice and weight lifted off their shoulder, but I felt it was kind of half-assed and disappointing. No suspense on that whatsoever. Minor spoilers again. Tim reaches out to the boat. They don't believe him at first, naturally, until Grant gets on the horn. I mean, they had already set out. They were practically at the docks. There's also another subplot about a sixth Stegosaurus that actually leads to some revelations and discoveries that felt beneficial to the characters and the story. Take that, film! This book is a bit hit or miss in terms of how much it crams into it. It feels a bit overbloated at times. Some things lead to stuff that doesn't really amount to anything. Ian's constant ramblings about chaos theory, despite him breaking it down, felt long-winded and made him seem kind of righteous at times. Like he had all the answers. I mean, he knew what was going to happen, and it did. But he seemed to put himself over it all, as if he were some godlike figure, at least on the subject. Let's get into the meat of the story. What did readers go into this book wanting that the movie never gave them? The gore! The dinosaurs are treated more like birds in this book. I mean, sure, there are some gruesome kills, but they are done bird-like. Some are more aggressive, others are more playful, but they have movements and tics that could be associated with avian creatures. They do cause some serious damage to the human body, though. Don't let it fool you. People are disemboweled with their innards spilling onto the floor. Flesh is ripped off from bone. Lacerations laced in blood, and more. People are just picked up and carried off into the jungle to be feasted upon. My favorite, spoilers, you probably know because you've seen the movie, Dennis Nedry and the Dilophosaurus, peak terror. It's intense, creepy, and just plain horrific. The way the rain falls down onto the jungle floor, the faint hooting heard off in the distance. They grow closer and closer. It's not an owl. The raptors cause the most human fatalities and or injuries. They are quick and ruthless. However, Sattler basically plays a game of tag with them, while trying to stay out of their clawed reach. And it goes on for a bit too long. In real life, she would have been a goner after round 1 or 2. Everything from a juvenile T-Rex playing with its food, to a Dilophosaurus tattooing in a guy's face, to Comfies surrounding a little girl and attacking her. The book is filled with attacks that lead to death, discoveries, or both. Overall, this is a solid book. Despite my minor and somewhat decent-sized gripes, it's a great story to read. The story is just wonderful. The plotline could have been rewritten a couple more times to hammer home certain key points and change details that would have really benefited the story. If you want an R-rated Jurassic Park, read this, or watch a dinosaur horror film, which are becoming fewer and more far between. The 1990 novel is one to read with a plate of cheese and a cup of wine next to you. There is a good time to be had, especially if you can overlook some of the shortcomings. Lex is super annoying in this book, so there's that too. Yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. This has been a hell of a long review. I have been your host, Brian Gatto. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Holy shit, 37 minutes. Also hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video, and as always, subscribe. What was that? That's not T-Rex. It's more like Godzilla.